So chapter.
सर मैं हिमालय मॉल गया था.
Okay, but for 2 days, how could you be there? You can spend 1 or 2 hours over there.
Yeah, Sunday.
Okay, good. So we will solve the textual exercise today. Chapter 1. The eyes have it. The textual exercises we haven't yet solved, I think. Have you solved this exercise? Anyone who can tell me? Have you done this? Have we done this or not?
No, sir, not.
Okay. So the first one is pronunciation. Read this sentence from the story aloud. The guard blew his whistle and we moved off. Note how the group of letters STL is pronounced in the words whistle. The letter T is silent, right? You all know this. You all know
Yes.
how to say these words. So we have to practice saying them aloud. So tell me, what is this word?
Busal.
Bustle. No, it is bustle, meaning hubbub, a lot of noise. That is bustling, bustle. Then second,
Castle.
Castle.
yes, it is not castle. It is called castle, a big building, usually for made up for a royal family. Then third one,
Hustle.
hustle. What's the meaning? To rush very quickly, to go somewhere, pushing. That is hustle. Next,
Bristle.
Bristol.
bristle. That are the short hairs that come on a man's skin after getting shaved. Then
Official.
epistle. Epistle means a kind of letter, a formal letter. Then
Jostle.
jostle.
Joshua.
It is the synonym. Do you know it is the synonym of which word? This one, hustle. Hustle and jostle are synonyms, means to rush. So can you say all these words aloud? Means you know how to pronounce these words?
Yes.
Castle, hustle, bristle, epistle, jostle.
Yes, it is Bristol, not Bristol. T is silent. Now we have vocabulary exercise. Read this sentence from the story. They called their goodbyes and the train pulled out of the station. So here what is the meaning of pulled out? Pulled out means that the train left the station. Means it started and it left the station. That is the meaning of pulled out, right? The train pulled out of the station means train वहां से निकल गई. It left the station. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we have learned already in grammar phrasal verbs. Remember, I also shown the video phrasal verbs. 30 examples were there in that video, and you all had given the answers, vocabulary, phrasal verbs. Do you remember that? verb plus preposition, or verb plus adverb, phrasal verbs. Which were that phrasal verbs that day you were telling me? Today no one is giving the answers. Remember all that phrasal verbs from that 30. Can you tell me anyone? So you forgot that video completely? Can you give me some examples of phrasal verbs? Which were the phrasal verbs in that video? Anyone? Which were the phrasal verbs? See, some phrasal verbs are given over here. The verb is same, pulled, but preposition changes. Pulled up, pulled in, pulled off, pulled down, pulled ahead, pulled apart. So we have to guess the meaning of the words. See, the options are given over here. So number one, tell me what is the meaning of number one? The bus pulled up in front of the school gate. So from all these options, tell me which is the correct option for number one. Pulled up means what? Pulled up means what? From all these options, you have to select the correct meaning. Pulled up means what?
Sir, I am not sure, but overtake.
No, not overtake. Try to read the sentence twice and try to guess the meaning. Pulled up means what?
Separated to stop. Uh,
No.
Came to a halt.
Yes? What? What is the meaning? Please speak
Came
up. Came to a halt. One first answer is already written over here. See number one. No one is watching it. Number two. The train pulled in and I rushed to meet my grandparents. What is the meaning of pulled in? Pulled in.
entered the station.
We finally won the match. We never thought we would pull it off. So pull off. What is the meaning of pull off?
Succeed in doing
succeed
something
in doing
difficult.
something difficult.
The building was pulled down as it was old and posed a danger to the residents. Pulled
Demolished.
down.
Demolished.
Demolished.
Yes. Demolished means it was broken. The bus was moving at speed, but we managed to pull ahead. Pull ahead means
Overtake.
Overtake.
the onlookers pulled the two angry men apart.
Separated to stop a fight.
Separated. Stop a fight.
Yes. Pulled apart means उनको अलग कर दिया. They stopped them from fighting. But can you tell me what is the meaning of onlookers? Anyone? What is the meaning of onlookers? The travelers. So take screenshot because you will have to write this exercise even in textbook vocabulary. Taken?
In Fairbook,
No, not in fair book. In homework one time in rough book. Taken screenshot. Now, if you remember, in grammar we have learnt about clauses, dependent clause and independent clause. Do you remember or not?
yes.
So I want someone to read.
Sorry, Zohar Abbas.
Yes, Zoe, read.
Clauses and their type. A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. A clause can be of two types: main or independent clause, subordinate or dependent clause. A main clause or an independent clause makes some complete sense and can stand alone as a sentence. Subordinate or dependent clause. A subordinate or dependent clause cannot stand alone as a sentence. It is introduced by a
Introduced.
subordinating conjunction. Introduced by a subordinating conjunction, such as with, when, while, since, as, because, and until.
Read these examples also.
Read this sentence. As soon as she left the train, she would forgot our brief encounter. This sentence includes example of both type of clauses. The first part of the sentence, as soon as she left the train, is an example of dependent clause as it does not make complete sense. The second part of the sentence, she would forgot our brief encounter.
Forget.
Forget our brief encounter is an example of an independent clause as it makes complete sense.
Okay. So all of you be attentive. This topic will come in your 8th standard also. We have to learn what is the difference between independent clause and dependent clause. Do you know the meanings of these two words first of all? The meaning of dependent and independent. मीनिंग पता है
Yes.
सबको? For example, I can
Yes,
say,
yes. Saying
yes, you
dependent
are,
clause, the sentence didn't make a sense. In independent, the sentence make a sense.
yes, very good. Dependent clause means it is incomplete. Something is missing in it. It is lacking something. That is dependent clause. Means it does not make complete sense if we write it separately. But independent clause, what is independent clause? It will make complete sense on its own. If you write it separately, it is like a complete sentence. It can stand alone. So clauses are of two types: independent clause and dependent clause. In independent clause, as I said, it makes complete sense, it can stand alone, it is meaningful. But dependent clause is incomplete, it is not meaningful on its own. And most of the times, you will see all these conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions with dependent clauses. Means dependent clauses start होंगे ये conjunctions के साथ. So it is easy for you to identify the dependent clauses. Most of the times, dependent clauses begin with these conjunctions. See, example as he had read. This was one example in the lesson. This sentence is taken from the lesson. As soon as she left the train, she would forget our brief encounter. Do you remember this sentence from the lesson? Was this sentence there in the chapter? Was it there in the lesson or not? Can you tell me which one is independent clause from this sentence? There are two clauses, in between there is comma. So which one is independent and which one is dependent? Tell me.
First sentence is dependent and second is independent.
But tell me which should I underline for independent?
As soon as she left the train. For
Independent I
dependent.
asked.
Independent, she would forget a brief encounter.
So this I underlined with blue. That is independent. It can stand alone. We can write this separately as a complete sentence, right? But this one, as soon as she left the train. If you write this separately, is it meaningful? If I cut this, for example, if I cut this full, then is it complete? Is it meaningful? This one, as soon as she left the train. So what? Is it complete on its own? Is it meaningful or not?
No, not meaning.
So that is called dependent clause. And this one, if you write separately, suppose, let us say, I have cut this. चलो इतना मैंने cut कर दिया. Then also this is meaningful. She would forget a brief encounter. It is meaningful on its own. So that is called independent clause. The same thing they have explained over here. See, as soon as she left the train, that is dependent clause because it does not make complete sense. But this one, if you write it separately, she would forget our brief encounter. This makes complete sense on its own. So that is called independent clause, right? All of you understood the difference? All of you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
One
sir.
minute. So we have to write over here which one is dependent clause and which one is independent clause. The first one is given. As I was totally blind at that time, what? Then what? It is dependent clause. Tell me number two. Perhaps I never would. Dependent or independent? What should I write? Anyone? Why no answer? You understood the clauses, then why no answer?
Dependent. Second one is dependent.
I think in between you all take a short nap.
Yes.
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 So you go to sleep.
No.
What did I say? Short nap means what?
Not sleep. Sleep.
I speak thrice. Then Zaki answers. So others are just listening. One way it is. They are not answering. Right, Zaki?
Dependent.
Because my voice startled her.
Dependent.
Yes, dependent. It doesn't make complete sense on its own. And there is also conjunction because which begins the clause. Next, I love the hills.
I see. Independent. Dependent.
Okay.
She was silent. It is also independent.
Yes, she was silent. The train gathered speed.
Dependent.
What?
Dependent. Dependent. No independent.
Independent. It makes complete sense. The train gathered the speed. It's meaningful on its own. So take screenshot. This also you have to write in homework because in exam you cannot say that sir why did you ask from textual exercises. I will definitely ask something from textual exercise. Understood?
Yes.
So at that time I'll tell you check the recording. Take a screenshot. Now types of conjunctions. You already know the three types of conjunctions: coordinating, subordinating, and correlative. So today we will read, and there is one exercise we will solve. Zaki, will you read types of conjunctions?
Yes. Help us to connect two or more words, phrases, or parts of the sentence. Types of conjunction. There are three types of conjunction: coordinating, subordinating, and correlating. Coordinating conjunction. Join two main or independent verbs. There are seven coordinating conjunction in all. Here, for, and, all, but, or, yet, and so. You can remember them by the acronym PENVOICE. Subordinate. Introduce subordinate and or dependent clause because before, after, as, since, as though, unless, until, when, very, and why are some examples of subordinate conjunction. Not the use of coordinating and subordinating conjunction in this sentence from the story. I moved easily around the world and had all the window ledge. He had beautiful eyes, but they were of no use. I must have been sitting in a dark corner because my watch started her. I wonder if I could be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind. Coordinated conjunction. Was the term
Correlative.
of I
You are
would
not
that
audible, Zaki. Your voice is breaking up.
coordinative conjunction are words that are often used together but not usually next to each other. Either or, neither nor, whether or, both, and not only but also. And no sooner than a correlative conjunction. Read this sentence with correlative conjunction. Either you take an apple or an orange. Both Arun and Kushal will go for the picnic tomorrow. No sooner had we stepped outside than it started raining.
Okay. So, which are the three types of conjunctions? Coordinating, subordinating, and correlative. Will you remember these three names? First is coordinating conjunctions. You all know, while I was teaching you simple compound complex sentences, I had told you the acronym fanboys. Remember, these are 7 coordinating conjunctions. Do you all remember?
Yes.
For and nor, but or yet so. These 7 are coordinating conjunctions. Fanboys. That is the acronym, that is the short form. Asarya, your mic is on. Subordinating conjunctions, you cannot remember with any acronym because the list is very big. But some examples are given: because, before, after, as, since, although, unless, until, when, whereas, while. All these are examples of subordinating conjunctions. Also, they have given the examples, you see. Here they have given example of coordinating conjunctions. These sentences are taken from the story. So when you read any textbook, science, English, grammar, maths, social, now you will notice which conjunction is used from today onwards, right? Will you? See here also the sentence which is taken from the story. One subordinating conjunction is used. Here also two conjunctions are used. See, if, that. So it is possible that in one sentence, two, three conjunctions are used. In all the subjects, you can notice this now. Now, what are correlative conjunctions? In correlative conjunctions, you will just see the pair words. The pairs means two words together, either or together in one sentence, neither nor together in one sentence, whether or, both and, not only but also, no sooner than. So see, everywhere two words are joined together. It is called pairing, a pair conjunction. That is correlative. The third type, correlative. Either you take an apple or an orange, either or, both and, not only but also, both Arun and Kushal. No sooner than, see, no sooner had we stepped out than it started raining. So two conjunctions are used together, that is called pair conjunction, and it is correlative. Did you understand, all of you? So can anyone tell me which are the three types of conjunctions? Quickly tell me the names. Let me see who will tell me.
Coordinating, subordinating,
And correlative. So can you solve this exercise on your own? Chalo, read and tell me which sentence you are doubtful about. I would love to play for some more time. Dash, I have to catch my bus. What will come in the first?
Sir, because
No. Opposite things are there. Contrast. In the first sentence, What will come?
Sir, and
No. Think about it. All the six you have to read, and there are only six options. So each option will fit only in one blank. Not more than once you can use any option. Anyone? Okay. So this will be your homework. You have to solve this exercise. I will ask the questions the next time, right?
yes, sir.
Bye everyone.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye.